This is Olivia with my vlog for the week. So I think there was like a lot of things that my team learned from last week's pitch. That was really cool because usually we're just getting feedback from like the class in Tommaso. So to have the three kind of judges there was like really helpful, and they provided new perspective and insights. So it was cool that something that we did well was answering the question, is the problem space clearly defined? I think that like having maybe a really relatable story and being that we're college students talking about something that we ourselves struggle with kind of had convinced them that there is like something here to be addressed, and that like our product could maybe help in that. And so the two things that we got the lowest score in the class on was, is the proposed business model viable? Has the team made enough efforts to validate risky business assumptions? And is the team's roadmap and ask justified? So as for the business model part, we definitely have put in more time into validating it, but didn't have time to share that with the class at that time just because the amount of time we have to pitch is so short. But I can like explain it now. So what I've been doing is like case studies of businesses who also have two sources of revenue, one from like the consumer facing side and one from the business facing side. For example, like delivery services make a fee off of the people who order through their app, and also a fee from the business's side that they're delivering for. And so I think this just goes to show like it is a viable business model. On the other hand, I think that something that they question is, will businesses be willing to give a portion of the profits to a business like us? And again, there are a lot of case studies that can be done to prove that the answer is yes. So for example, Snack Pass or other businesses, or even like something I was thinking about was on-campus organizations often do partnerships with like these businesses surrounding Berkeley, and they will give up to like 20%, maybe even more, to those organizations. Granted, like being that we're a business, I would expect it to be a smaller percentage, but still I think like 5-10% is reasonable to assume. And so I think that all of this kind of is efforts that we've made to proving that it is viable and our business assumptions aren't super risky. And then from the, is the team's roadmap and ask justified, I think that's like a really fair point, that we asked for things that we knew we needed but didn't explain why we needed them and like justify that. In terms of like needing more technical people working on the project, as well as like the capital to do that. And then for the team's roadmap, which I'm assuming is like future next steps, we've put a little bit of thought into how we would want to release our application, as well as like the marketing strategy we would have surrounding that, but again, didn't present it in front of everyone, so totally justified that we would get points off for that. It's cool because I think that now we have kind of insight into what like the investor perspective will be, and we could use like this knowledge to hopefully improve for our final pitch. And we had a call this week kind of to find the things that need to be done on Nafe's end for the product and for the code review. And then from my perspective, I'm going to work on the product portion of our deck. I'm going to help with the release of a new survey, as well as create a landing page. And on the landing page, we're going to have a video kind of showing what the issue is that we're addressing, as well as a step through of how like we're fixing that problem. And so pretty excited to have all of this ready for our next pitch, and like show that we've put in the time to know that this is like a viable business model, as well as product that both like businesses and consumers will be interested in working with.